The twin moons of Verelion cast a soft lavender hue over the cliffside as the night breeze swept in from the crystal sea below. I stood there, breathing it all in, the alien air, the foreign constellations, the sharp scent of blossoms from the silver trees. And beside me, glowing softly in her ceremonial robe, was Aelyra. She was beautiful, in that surreal way that made it hard to believe she was real. Bioluminescent markings shimmered faintly on her cheekbones, trailing down her neck like falling stars. Her eyes, deep pools of violet, looked right through me. "I wish I could marry you," she said softly. "But not possible, human." The words hit harder than I expected. I'd come to this world 3 years ago as part of the diplomatic exchange program, Earth's attempt at peaceful relations with the Verelion Accord. We'd worked side by side in the archives, translating ancient treaties, analyzing cultural artifacts, laughing over linguistic quirks. Somewhere along the line, the work turned into something more. She brushed a strand of silver-white hair behind her ear. They would never allow it. Not for someone like me. "Because I'm human?" I asked, my voice catching. "Or because of who you are?" Her eyes lowered. "Both." I took a step closer, heart pounding. "I don't care what they say, Aelyra. I care about you. Doesn't that count for something?" She gave a small, sad smile. "On Earth, maybe. But here, I am the High Chancellor's daughter. My life is bound in obligation. My marriage was arranged the day I turned 8 cycles. To break that bond would start a war," I finished bitterly. She nodded, her eyes glistening. "Or worse, collapse everything we've built between our people." I remembered the riots last year. One kiss shared between a human ambassador and a Verelion noble had sparked weeks of protests, threats, sabotage. We'd nearly lost the entire alliance. And now, here we were, flirting with something that could light the fuse again. "But it's you," I said helplessly. "I didn't come here looking for love, but it happened. And I know you feel the same." She turned to look at the horizon where the moons touched the sea. "I do. That's the tragedy." Silence fell between us like the tide, heavy and cold. I reached for her hand, 3 fingers, cool and slender, and she let me hold it. "You know," she said after a while, "in Verelion myth, there's a story about the stoneflower and the wind." I arched a brow. "Never heard that one." She smiled faintly. "The stoneflower bloomed once every 1,000 cycles atop the highest peak. Unmoving, it waited, untouched. But the wind, he fell in love with her. Every day, he tried to reach her, tried to hold her, but she was stone, and he was air." "What happened?" "The wind asked the gods to turn him into a storm, strong enough to break the mountain. But the gods refused. If he destroyed the peak, he'd destroy the flower. So he simply circled her, day after day, whispering his love, knowing he could never stay." "That's a terrible story," I muttered. "It's a true one," she replied, her voice hollow. "That's what we are." I clenched my jaw. "Then let's be something else. Let's break the mountain." Aelyra stared at me, something fierce flickering behind her sadness. "You'd risk everything. Your position, your planet's trust, just for me." "For us," I said. She studied me, torn between centuries of tradition and the single beat of her heart. Then she pulled away. "I want to believe we can rewrite the story," she whispered. "But not tonight." I blinked. "Then when?" "I don't know." She hesitated. "But I have to marry him. The ceremony is at dawn." It felt like someone punched a hole in my chest. "Aelyra." She stepped forward, cupped my cheek in her hand. This wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. And no matter what comes next, I will always remember this night. You. Us. I wanted to tell her not to go. to run away with me, to steal a ship, vanish into the stars. But she wasn't built for rebellion. She was the stone flower, rooted in duty, bound by generations of unspoken vows. I love you, I said instead, because it was the only truth I had left. Her eyes brimmed with tears. And I love you. But in another life, maybe. She leaned forward, kissed me, soft, lingering, and full of everything we'd never get to say. Then she turned and walked away, her silhouette dissolving into the violet dawn. I didn't attend the ceremony. Couldn't bear it. I watched from a distance as the palace bells rang and the sky filled with glittering banners. The entire planet celebrated while I sat alone on a hillside, the wind howling around me like a ghost. Weeks passed. I tried to return to work, bury myself in diplomacy. But everywhere I went, I saw her, her smile, her voice, her soul etched into every memory. Then, one night, a package arrived at my quarters. No sender. No insignia. Just a smooth obsidian cube. Inside, it was a recording crystal. I activated it. Aelyra's face appeared, bathed in moonlight. If you're watching this, she said softly, then I've left Virelion. I don't know if I made the right choice. I don't know if the galaxy will ever forgive me. But I couldn't live without knowing. Without trying. My breath caught. I sent you away so I could finish the ceremony, she continued. But it was only symbolic. I refused the binding in secret. I've abdicated my title. My people believe I've gone to another colony to meditate. But the truth is, I'm coming to Earth. She smiled, free, radiant. I don't want another life, human. I want this one. With you. I dropped the crystal, my heart thundering. She had broken the mountain. And the wind finally had his flower.